Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Massasoit Wrestling Corner, Season 2, episode... I don't even know what episode it is.
Episode question mark.
It's in the title down below. We took a week off last week, an unplanned week off, because we had a couple of snow days. So we pretty much took a week off. I did talk... We're not going to talk about last week's stuff, because I already talked about it in the Aftershock Corner, which you can check out right up there. I'm Owen the Birdman Finch, and this is...
The unedited, unfiltered, unadulterated, uncensored sex bomb, and I think I got my words mixed up a bit. Steve Steiner.
And this is...
Oh shit, we're being robbed.
A very agitated James the He-Man Heber. 17 years of my life wasted with a company that I feel no longer gives a shit, and I'm about to tell you why right now. If you don't mind, if I could have a seat.
Go ahead. We'll take a seat.
This is a seat.
This table.
You see, a lot of people may know this from the day I was emotional on this very same podcast, webcast. And I said that the WWE specifically, when it comes to pro wrestling, is the reason why I conquered my autism for the most part. Thought WWE could do me no wrong. But I'm telling you right now, I was dead fucking wrong, because the past 5 years has been bullshit.
Keep the voice down there. Class is going on.
I'm aware. So, let's explain why it's bullshit. Let's start with the recent stuff, shall we? Titus O'Neil. I love this. You suspend a guy for fooling around. You suspend a guy for basically lightly pushing you.
Mind you, a guy that they were pushing to be a main event.
Yep. And what happens? He gets suspended for 90 days.
Now, I hear it's 60 days.
Now the fans got so outraged, and celebrities alike, that it got reduced to 60.
But that's still not good.
Can I
Still
talk
not good enough.
about one thing real quick?
Yeah.
This is a guy that is pretty much the John Cena right now.
Of everything.
He's
Yeah.
the John Cena
He-
for the African American.
This is a guy that
He's more
dedicates
than
his that's been put through a lot of shit and hasn't complained about it one bit.
Not one.
And this is a guy I read online that gives his paycheck to people that are hungry and people that are homeless. He gives his paycheck to these people.
Yeah.
It is shown
Father of the year.
that
Father
he
of the
is
year.
Can I mention something?
better. He's better than John Cena. By a milestone better than John Cena.
It's
He doesn't
clearly
just
visible,
give,
like,
and the reason
much better.
why, he gives to other charities. I'm not dissing John Cena. I think what he does for Make-A-Wish is amazing, but Titus does so much more than that.
Yeah.
And you suspend a guy for 60 days for lightly shoving you.
Was
Yet you let Randy Orton come back on 4 separate occasions after failing the wellness policy. Count them, 4!
He even took a shit in the Divas trash.
Yeah, and that too, and you still let him back.
Peed in the trash can.
Still let him back.
Peed in a trash can doing a press con. Was something like that. I heard he peed in a trash can.
And here's the sad reality of everything.
There's been worse.
This is not the first time that this has happened. You show favoritism to 2 people on your main roster sides right now. And everyone else they give 2 shits about. They don't care about you unless you're John Cena and Roman Reigns.
Or The Rock.
Brock Lesnar.
No, and let's talk about The Rock too. That was the other latest thing that happened too. You get pissed off because Rock wanted to have fun with the fans that your security team kicked out of the fucking show.
That just goes to show you how much the wrestlers actually care, but how much they can actually change the show. They literally have no power.
Dolph Ziggler looks miserable.
I see it every week.
He visibly looks like he's only there for the paycheck. And he knows he won't thrive here. And it's fucking sad. Because you guys have no excuse for that shit. Because you have the best roster ever assembled, and you do jack and shit with it.
Yeah. It's funny because most of the best parts of the roster are in NXT. Just saying.
And when they cross the boss, or in this case, cross John Cena and Reigns, suspended, fired, gone for whatever names to indefinite, however many days to indefinitely. That's the world of WWE we live in now. Now, let me tell you why that's bullshit. Because back in the Attitude Era, back in the Golden Age, back even during the Golden Age and the New Age, what was it all about? Being the best. Yeah, sure, you had your favorites. You had The Rock. You had Austin. You had Triple H.
Before that, you had Hogan.
Yeah,
Diesel,
before that you had Hogan, Diesel,
Warrior.
Hall,
Warrior.
Nash, Michaels. Before that, Ultimate Warrior, at one point, Roddy Piper,
Andre.
another Andre the Giant, you know, Paul Orndorff, way
And
back in
even-
his time, Bruno Sammartino.
Hey,
But
you wanna
Savage.
here's the thing. People were at least able to produce the best matches on the card, and they were properly placed. That was, of course, until the 90s happened. The early 90s, before I was born. Okay. Let's make no stretch of the margin. They still pushed the best talent.
Diesel and
They still,
Diesel.
besides Diesel, I don't consider Diesel talent, but at the time he was something new. He was huge. He was fucking 7 foot. On top of that, you had guys who could carry him to a match like Razor,
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels. But see, people started getting smart because after your last fiasco in '93 with Hogan, people started to catch on, and then '95 was one of the worst years you ever produced. Why? Because Kevin Nash was champion, and at one point you drew your lowest house show rating in months because there was no Taker, no Michaels, no Scott Hall, and no 1, 2, 3 Kid.
Yep.
Just Diesel
Just goes to show you how.
fighting Bob Backlund.
Oh, fool God.
It just goes to show you how. I'm sorry. You can keep
And now we're in the same fucking standstill years later. And people are saying it's because there's no competition.
It went away and
So,
came back.
so there needs to be competition in order for WWE to care. So basically what you're saying is, after the 80s, fuck us. Or hell, even during the 80s. We don't matter.
The 80s, they got lucky because they were so fresh with a bunch of new talent.
And it was fresh
I
content.
mean, like, thank you, Vince, for starting WrestleMania. That's what kept you guys going for the 80s, basically. But then come the 90s when we're used to it.
Actually, there was competition in the 80s, actually.
Yeah,
Um,
small brands that weren't really.
That Vince destroyed.
Once WrestleMania came around,
That
you got the
Vince.
fans.
Well, now let's be honest here. You had an opportunity to capitalize on the biggest investment you could have ever gotten after the Attitude Era. You acquired WCW and ECW's assets. And what do? You bury every single one of them. Every single talent on both fucking company brands. Not just once, but twice. From 01 to 03 and from 06 to 2010. And I love to understand why. I love to understand because there are people now that have called out these flaws and have fixed them. And I've gotten multiple views in the process. One of them being Adam, a wrestling fan for years, even before I was born, before he was born, before Steve was born. And it's kind of funny to me because I've been a fan for 17 years. And this is where we're at now, where people are now treated as if you cross the wrong people, you're immediately in the doghouse where you'll be jobbed out, suspended, or fired. And you won't get pushed and you won't get to main event level or true main event level unless you're John Cena or Roman Reigns. And Randy Orton doesn't count either, because as far as I'm concerned, Randy Orton's a distant number 2 the way they booked him for all these fucking years. All of these fucking years. Okay? And no one can deny that to me any differently, because WWE Creative has fucked Randy Orton on so many fucking occasions. Twice with Triple H, need we fucking forget. And now we're here. We're here at your WrestleMania 32. A stadium, Cowboy Stadium, that you are trying to sell out. I got news for you. You'll be very lucky if you even get if you even get 94,000 or 95,000 in that fucking dome. And I'm telling you why. No one wants to see the fucking product. And most people that will go are sticking it out until after this pay-per-view.
Yeah. I mean, no.
I've been
I'm not gonna.
I've been thinking about, after WrestleMania,
What happens?
Whether I'm just gonna turn into, only watch after the Wars, after the pay-per-views and the Wars. There will go home show before the pay-per-views and just watch the pay-per-views, because I can't take sitting through this shit every week.
I can't either. I mean, it's like this. I'm not. I was gonna say I wouldn't speak for Owen, but he just spoke for himself. Same position for me. We're both going to WrestleMania, doing the corner from down there, hopefully. And we're sticking it out. I'm gonna. I was pissed when Triple H won the belt, and I said, you know what, I'll stick it out until the Raw after WrestleMania, and then I'll see where I am. And honestly, I'm gonna stick in no matter what, because there's always one person I want to see nowadays, and that's AJ Styles. But I just don't know at this point, and it's sad that all this creative bullshit's happening, and it's sad that Titus got suspended. And you wanna know what the funny thing about Titus O'Neil is? When's the last time you remember an African American superstar getting as big a push as he was starting to get? Booker, maybe?
The question I have for you guys. This is a question I thought about last night.
What?
This is a legit. This might be. When was the last time an African American main evented a WrestleMania?
Exactly.
I think it was when that football player came and bought Bam Bam Bigelow. That's not even their guy. It's not even their talent. So I don't even think that should even count.
So is there a sense of racism in the backstage area of WWE? I do think so. I mean, it was clearly there was some racism with Del Rio leaving at first, because now he's just here for the money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Let's talk about two.
I mean,
that's
a situation of fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's what that's where I'm at with Del Rio right now. He's obviously here for the money because he just doesn't give a shit.
Let's talk about two.
And Titus O'Neil is just, it's a shame because he was starting to get the big push. I've been behind. This is personal too. I'm not speaking for James and Owen here. I've been behind Titus O'Neil ever since the Primetime Players started.
Me too.
And I always thought, ever since NXT, I was behind Titus O'Neil. I thought he could be a big star.
I started becoming a fan of him ever since he won the Father of the Year award.
Yeah, and Father of the Year pushed him more. I was never really behind Darren Young, but you know what? I think his whole coming out story was actually really inspirational. I thought, you know, it was good of him to stand up for what he believed in, and I thought this could be a real big push for both primetime players.
And you know what's funny too?
What?
we're I don't even know where to begin with your roster and how you booked people, because you have guys like Barrett, Del Rio, Rusev, and Sheamus all over TV for the past 5 months.
They don't have a choice really, but
yet Ziggler is in constant, stupid, meaningless programs. So is Kevin Owens.
they're having a match the third week in a row on this show.
Yep.
You want to know what, too? Is I understand most of their talent are injured, but, you know, I was starting to actually think maybe Titus O'Neil could get a really big match at WrestleMania, you know? Take a chance. You don't have to take a huge chance and put him in the main event.
Let's talk about that too.
But
That wasn't. It wasn't
Wait,
really. Let's be honest, because it wasn't. It wasn't because Titus was a good person. We all know why he's getting the push. It's because Cesaro got injured,
Yeah.
and that's another fucking problem. There's a couple of problems with this. Really, you replace guys that get fucking injured.
Well, I mean,
You kidding me?
James, at some point.
No. You don't replace them. If there's anything you do, you find a new fucking thing for the guy to do when he comes back. If you need to put that guy in his place, you find something for the guy to do. But the problem is they don't do that because in reality, people think everyone's crazy when I said this, and I said this a couple times, but they actually have a big enough roster now where they can have a split brand again. But they don't want to do that because Raw's 3 hours where SmackDown's 2. Here's another problem with this. Your road schedule is fucking garbage. I don't know how many times I have to go over it. You say that your road schedule is how it's been, but in reality you're overworking your guys because you're having them work 360 days out of the year.
And sometimes, James, they are working 3 nights pay-per-view, Raw, and then SmackDown. That's too much.
Yep. But in reality, you're all you have to do is this. You do a week for all the shows. For Raw, 1 week for Monday, tape Raw again Tuesday. Wednesday is a house shows for regular guys, and NXT's for the developmental. And then Thursday is SmackDown, and then for NXT is their house show day. Friday is, I don't even know, a live show for, if you want to have an NXT match there, fine.
Yeah.
And then regular WWE roster guys go in. Then you have a week off for them to have Tuesday and maybe Thursday for media appearances, and maybe even Saturday. And then you repeat the process the same week. And then Sunday happens where you have them show up for the pay-per-view. And here's the reason why you won't do this, and here's a huge problem on why. Because if you do that and lessen your road schedule, you'll make less money in the end because the only thing that will make a difference is if you have a good fucking writing team. Which you don't have. And you haven't had it for fucking years.
Voice.
You never had it. The only time you've ever had a decent writing team was when Russo was on board. And the only reason why there wasn't shit ideas going through most of the time was because Cornette was the fucking leader of the fucking writing team. Along with Jim Ross. So, case in point right there. And in reality, Vince did an interview recently that kind of explains how he truly feels.
About everything.
I didn't see this interview, but
The laments of the interview and what he said was, He does not care about the ratings anymore.
He doesn't.
He cares about the network because mindless sheep. Not making fun of anyone here, but mindless sheep. Because I'll admit it, I've been one too. I've been naive for many years.
Yeah, I have to.
Bought into this network shit. And now I'm starting to regret it. And I don't even pay for the fucking thing.
You know what's funny? Vince is actually making it worse on himself. He's giving you the network with all the old pay-per-views when WWE was, like
Good.
really good.
Yep.
And that's kind of filling over the idea like, why is it so shitty now?
Yeah. When I watch
This is on worst enemy.
when I watch the old stuff and then I watch this stuff, I'm just like, wow, it's
Confusing.
so different now. So different. They actually.
It's called boring, Owen. It's called boring. It's called biased. It's called unjust. It's called deplorable. It's called despicable. It's called a waste of 3 hours, a waste of 2, in some cases, on national television
Honestly, it's
for the main
it's
fucking roster.
It's starting to sound like if Vince doesn't kick the bucket sooner or later, we might be watching Raw and SmackDown for $9.99.
Yeah, you might have to watch it on the network.
And
And guess what? No one's gonna care. Because in the end, you're making less money doing it. Whether you think TV may not matter or not, fucking fact is, motherfucker, you still have sponsors that are sponsoring your program on TV. So, everything that you are talking here, I don't need to be a businessman to know this. What you're talking is absolute asininical fucking bullshit. Because you're not making sense. You say that you only care about the network to the point where maybe in a year or in a year and a half from now, you put Raw and SmackDown on the WWE network, you're going to make half a fucking budget cut again. Again! Keep in mind, you already had to a couple of years ago because NBC was pissed off with you. And you lost money with them. Which, by the way, I've also said you should get rid of fucking Dick Ebersol because you would probably get a better writing team if you weren't associated with the prick. All right? And, the funny thing is, I don't even know why I waste my time. I talk. We talk. We give ideas. Us, the IWC, I don't care if you're the good part or the bad part of the community, we have given you ideas.
like 20% good part.
We've given you ideas. See, there is a percentage of the IWC that actually knows what the fuck they're talking about.
Small percentage.
Yeah.
And the people that know what they're talking about are getting so sick of this bullshit that they are like me. That I will not be watching Fastlane. And after WrestleMania 22,
32.
this ain't even a threat. This is a goddamn promise. I'm not watching this product anymore.
Go watch TNA.
I won't even watch. No. And let me tell you why I won't watch TNA, because I don't care what anybody says on telling me to start watching something different. I want to watch something different, but I don't get Lucha Underground. I don't get to stay up till 12 and watch Ring of Honor, because I actually have shit to do. I run a wrestling show with their own fucking video game that I have to work on. On top of that, my main priority is school. My other priority is license. And right now I'm trying to get my friend back into this fucking college.
It's a lot of shit to handle, and WWE is just not helping. Your storylines are bogus.
Let me tell you why I'm so. Let me tell you why I'm so pissed. I mentioned earlier at the start of this that I have been a fan, and you guys broke me out of my autistic shell. But now I'm kind of starting to regret it a tiny bit, because now I'm starting to see the reality, and I don't like it. Because I thought you guys could do me no wrong, but 2015, I'm going to be flat out honest with you guys, it's the worst year of my fucking life.
Yeah.
And I've had some fucked up years, alright? And it wasn't because of your product. Just shit in general. It wasn't just because of your product, I should say that. It was just other shit that was going on in my life. But I expected pro wrestling to help me through those tough times,
And they did.
and they
And
didn't.
it sucks. It really sucks. You know,
Let's elaborate on that. I mean, like, we all go to wrestling. Right now, we need wrestling probably more than ever with the situation we're dealing with right now.
WWE is supposed to have storylines that do help people through tough times. That's what the whole Attitude Era was really based around. Was, you know, the whole sticking it to your evil boss thing with Stone Cold, The Rock, and Vince, and that was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Probably the best storyline WWE's ever had. Period. And I say that 100% sure I know what I'm saying. And I say that knowing if I could get the entire WWE universe into a room and say that, at least 80% of their hands would go up in agreement. I'm positive at least 80% of people would say that. I mean, of course, there are others like Alicia Fox who would say that Melina versus, no, who was it, Cameron, that would say Melina versus Alicia Fox is the best rivalry. God knows why.
Yep.
But thing is, I was really starting to lose confidence on WWE, and it's funny. You know, I get that TNA is in a bad money position right now, but at least they're trying. WWE's
You know
not
why?
trying at
You
all.
know why they're trying?
'Cause I get it, they have to.
No, yeah. Well, here's the thing, Steve. And I know this is gonna hurt you because it hurt me when I came to the realization in 2013. But in reality, 2014, early 2014 actually. But reality, TNA is just WWE Junior.
Yeah, you know what?
They're the same effing way. And the only reason they're trying now is because they have lost so much fucking money to the point where now their headquarters are down in the fucking basement where their shop is.
And it's sad, really, because it's sad.
WWE and TNA were supposed to be the proving grounds for your main stage, for the main spotlight. Look at where they are now, guys.
But the
And the worst part is Dixie Carter thinks what she's doing has been great all this time, and now she's starting to wake the fuck up. But the problem is, Miss Pretty,
It's
too
too late.
little, too late.
and the worst part
You have
is,
Matt Hardy as your champion, and the funny thing is, you're still making the same mistakes as you were back then, now, because you have Matt Hardy, 46 years old, as your champion, but Drew Galloway isn't a champion.
here's the worst part, James.
Ethan Carter isn't, and now you have Mike Bennett, and he's not.
He's on his way, I can guarantee. But
He better be,
Look, here's the real thing.
because then I'll actually start watching.
It's all a big shame because without TNA, is WWE going to have any real competition or a chance to have competition again? Not really. You know, there was a time when TNA had built up enough steam and momentum that they had a shot at going against WWE, but freaking Hulk Hogan screwed that up by choosing to go against Monday Night Raw when they probably, at the time, would have had a better chance going against SmackDown because the brand split had already happened. No,
Yeah.
What had
brand
happened?
split got canceled, rather, and it was just Super Raw and Super SmackDown, so SmackDown was starting to get really shitty. I think TNA could have at least had a decent chance of beating out SmackDown,
Yep.
but not Raw. And it's a shame because now TNA is going to go. Ring of Honor is never going to be competitive with WWE because they're more or less in agreement with them of, you know, they build guys up and then they go to NXT. That's the way it's been for years, believe it or not. Just think about it.
Yeah,
Daniel
NXT,
Bryan,
FCW.
CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Samoa Joe, a lot of guys did that. And WWE's aware of it, and WWE's cool with them, and they're cool with WWE, so they're not going to be competition.
Lucha
If you
Underground?
think
I don't- probably
Lucha
not.
Underground? No,
They're way different.
Their budget
they're,
is
they're
never
a
gonna
movie.
get up there,
They're a
and-
movie.
they're just too cartoonish, you know.
And
If
with
you think-
the only other wrestling company that's even close to them is New Japan.
Yeah, I was gonna say New Japan in a bit, but here's the other thing: all the
But
other
New Japan is also working with them as well.
all the other indie promotions
And Ring of
across
Honor.
the United States, like CZW, Top Rope Promotions. Let's face it, they're just nice in the moment, but they're not gonna be here in 2 months or 2 years.
No,
They
and
all
the,
go
and the
under
funny
at some
thing
point.
is, the only thing that really should matter, and what should have always been for years, is WWE. Because it should be the place to go.
It's funny now because now and this isn't obviously the headquarters are America for WWE, but they're a worldwide product. And I think New Japan is just as good to finally start taking that shot at becoming a worldwide product because their headquarters Japan. If WWE and New Japan were in the same country, I guarantee you New Japan would beat their ass.
Yep.
Probably, yeah.
And one of the funny thing is New Japan doesn't even put too much effort in their storylines. They make characters and they let the characters run
Write
with
the
themselves.
stories.
It worked for Bullet Club just fine. It's worked for every other superstar who's been in there just fine.
We have to leave.
And the
I
funny
have to leave,
and the
but
funny
here's the
thing,
thing.
hold on, before you say it, I want to say it before you go. I want you to hear this.
All right.
So now we've come to the realization with everything that I said that there are YouTubers who have given you ideas, and Vince McMahon has flat out said that even the 20% minority does not matter.
Nope.
We don't know what we're talking about, and the network is the new huge thing, and that will make him millions of dollars. So you're a billionaire right now. Let me tell you, Vince, that money ain't gonna last forever. Maybe till you're dead.
Look, my one hope is that New Japan pulls off their worldwide expansion, and not only that,
It's
but
not- it's
once
not-
TNA
let me-
goes under, all those guys don't go to WWE. I want them to go straight, because it's cool to have them in WWE, but they're gonna get booked to shit. I want them all to leave TNA and go straight to New Japan. I want New Japan to start pushing and hunting down, because kudos to you, WWE and Triple H, for hunting down young talent and getting them. But what happens once they're there in NXT? Or scratch that. NXT, once they get there, they're fine. They book them perfectly.
Mhm.
Then once they get to Raw, it's over. They are booked
Yeah,
to
done.
shit. It is over.
The Ascension's the biggest example, Bob.
Yeah, and that's the biggest
Ascension.
shame. And his,
Fucking Neville is huge shame too.
I really believe.
So is Cesaro. So
I
is
hope-
Sami Zayn.
I hope this all happens. I
Not
hope
even
New
on the
Japan-
main roster yet officially.
I gotta go, okay, guys.
Yeah.
My hope, my last statement is just, I really hope New Japan pulls off a big expansion and becomes competitive to WWE. And if they get to that state where they're like WCW, I'm hopping. I'm serious. I'm leaving Team WWF for Team WCW, or in this case, Team NGPW.
Yep.
And that's not, as Paul Heyman would say, that's not a promise. That's not a guarantee. That's a spoiler.
That makes sense. Alright, so I guess I should add Nightpelt, then we'll talk about War.
I have one more thing to say, and I want to point this out. What I'm feeling and what we're all feeling, we're not the only ones. I don't know if you noticed, but there has been a trend in WWE recently where Tyrone Magnus, Sean's View Entertainment, Adam from What Culture, saying they are sick of the product. And in some cases, some people of those three that I mentioned said, and these are just few of the many YouTubers on there, by the way.
Dozens and dozens.
Some have already given up. Some are about to give up. And they're saying that they're going to be done after WrestleMania 32. I don't think it's legitimately just a thing we're saying. I think it's something that's legitimately going to happen. I don't know if I'll watch Raw. I don't know if I'll even keep up to date with WWE after this. NXT is probably the only thing I'll care about. And it's funny because I don't know. We've been fans for a long time. Some of the people I mentioned on YouTube have been fans for a long, long time, and they're done. They're just done with it. And I can't help but agree. I'm sick of this, and I don't know where to go from here. Quite frankly, I don't even know what happened here. But I'm skimming through, and I can't even, the only thing, the thing that's sad is the huge story of this show, and only this show now, is Daniel Bryan. But because you got so butthurt with Titus O'Neil, it now became about Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Because apparently all you give 2 iotas of a shit about is your fucking net worth. Not your network, your net worth. Vince. It's all you've given a shit about since you started the WWF way back when you took it over from Vince Sr. You had a vision for wrestling at one point, and you lost sight of it and became corrupt with money, just like most politicians and just like most businessmen.
So I guess I want to say my say. So last week, when I did the Retro Wrestling Review series, I talked about I started the new past superstars of the week. Vince McMahon was the past superstar of the week. And I didn't try to say, I did bash him somewhat, but I said some good things about him.
Yep.
Said he's somewhat the reason that there was a WrestleMania, that the wrestling.
I will say this: he is the reason. He's the reason for Mania. I say he has a vision. He lost sight of it, but he has a vision. Now here's the thing: Vince, the character, will always be amazing, and I will always love that character. And I think a lot of people will agree with me because he is good at doing that. But the problem is, it's not his time anymore. It's not Hunter's time anymore. It's not these old guys that have been there forever. It's not their time. It's the time for the Ziggler. It's the time for the Sami Zayn. It's the time for the Kevin Owens. It's the time for the Nevilles. It's the time for the Cesaros. It's the time for the Titus fucking O'Neils, who should be your face right now. But no, it's Roman Reigns. A guy who should be a heel and upper to middle mid-card at best. Not in the main event. Sheamus, not in the main event.
No.
Ziggler should be. Styles should be. Jericho should be. Fucking tag team division. The Dudleys should be on the top of the tag team scene. Or at least in contention for the tag titles. What have you done for 3 pay-per-views in a row? Had them as the fucking pre-show.
And job out on the pre-show.
How?
They made the Dudleys irrelevant. Only the WWE can do that.
And who cares if the Dudleys are heel now? I don't care.
They'll probably do this.
I don't care.
They'll probably be the same. They'll probably job them out still.
Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You have Kalisto win the belt on Raw, only to bury him on commentary 5 seconds later.
And then lose on SmackDown, and then you flip-flop the United States Championship. Yeah.
And completely ruin all credibility that your top babyface built up.
Then you got Kevin Owens. You have him beat Cena clean, lose to him the next month, and then he taps out to him at Battleground. He actually didn't even really get to live off more than 2 weeks of being Cena clean. You had to have Cena get that win right back.
No.
That actually ruined him right when he lost to Cena at Money in the
And he
Bank.
should have won at anything.
And here's the
Fine,
thing.
you want to have Cena win one match, I have no problem, but have him win the fucking feud. Have him win the goddamn belt.
And then you have
He had the IC title for what? Who did he win it from?
Ryback. And nothing with it. He could have revitalized that Intercontinental Championship. He did nothing.
God bless the guy. He's a great human being in real life, but here's the thing: his place is not for wrestling.
No, probably
It's not. The reason why is he's way too stiff. He hurts your guys, and he's not a reliable champion because he's never was that good to begin with.
I don't know, he has improved in the areas he's had to improve with, but he's still not great. He's just not.
He's just.
And he's trying, but.
Some people aren't.
Then you have Roman Reigns.
You have a guy who's just as built as him in Apollo Crews, and this guy makes what Ryback's doing amateur hour.
I actually want to talk about that. So last week, You have Apollo Crews versus Finn Balor. They booked this perfectly. Apollo Crews lost. Everyone's gonna say that he was buried, but here's how I look at it. Finn Balor hit the coup de grace, but Apollo Crews was still getting. I don't know if you saw this. So he had to go to that extra length to hit the double brainbuster on Apollo Crews. The fact that he had to go to that extra length and couldn't beat him off the coup de grace, I think, in my opinion, makes Apollo Crews look strong in itself. And everyone's gonna say that. That's the way I look at it, though. And Apollo Crews, you had to have someone go over clean. It had to be Finn Balor because he's the champion. He's the guy that they're going up against. And Apollo Crews looks strong in the match. And like I said, the fact that Finn Balor had to go that extra length to hit that move to win, I actually would like to see him start using that as a finisher too. It'd be pretty cool.
That's the funny thing is that NXT does so much better at building up their guys, and it's almost sad that people like Neville and Bo Dallas, ironically, who is actually really well booked there, get booked to shit when they go into the main roster. Isn't that kind of funny?
Yeah. Then you have
I mean,
how many factions you have now? You got the Social Outcast. You got
Social Outcast, New Day,
the League of Nations.
The League of Nations.
Oh, the New Day though. The New Day is the highlight of the show.
The New Day is the highlight of the show, and yet you try to make your main event scene, try to make your main event scene the League of Nations. Why? Look at what you have in front of you for a main event scene. A potential main event scene. You have Kevin Owens. You had him lose the IC title. Wouldn't that mean you would want to build up a feud between Sami Zayn, Dean Ambrose, and Kevin Owens?
Something like that.
No. What do you do instead? You have Dean Ambrose as the Intercontinental Champion. For what? Because if you were going to put him in this triple threat match, guess who people are going to want to win? You know why? Because he can out-wrestle these two, not even fucking trying. You know why? Because he's younger. He's 32 years old? How old's Triple H? Fucking 46? Roman Reigns is very young too, but Roman Reigns can't fucking wrestle. To the level of Dean Ambrose, to the level of Ziggler, to the level of Sami Zayn, to the level of Finn Balor, to Samoa Joe. Hell, even Baron Corbin shows more potential than this fucker. I'm sorry, I gotta be honest. He's not that good. He's not. And you're putting that as your main event of your show. And the rest of your matches, I was actually going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I was actually going to deal with that main event and have Roman win the title if it meant we were going to get the following combinations of matches, whether it was Style and Jericho, the final blow-off match.
Which it looks like they still may do
Which they still might do that, but that might only be it, because I thought you were going to do Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
We haven't seen Sami Zayn.
But we haven't seen Sami Zayn since the Royal Rumble. Why bring him in the Royal Rumble if you're not even going to fucking blow off their feud for Mania?
Then you have
your Divas division still no one cares about because you buried that to shit, and the only way you were going to have any momentum back is the idea that I recommended to you. But I guess I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Because I'm even the 20% that actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. No, according to Vince. So that looks like it's not going to happen, and it doesn't even look like they may do Charlotte versus Sasha at WrestleMania, but why? You're having a robot fight a girl who has leaps and bounds better than Charlotte.
Heel versus heel. It's heel versus heel.
And it's heel versus heel. We don't even know if Sasha Banks is even a face or an anti, or I think she's an anti-hero. And no one on the fucking female division knows what the fuck, who's heel and who's face. The only ones that we know are face are Natalya and fucking Becky Lynch. Everyone else is heel or don't know what the hell they are because they're confused and they're having a freaking gender identity crisis or some shit. It's fucking ridiculous.
Then you have
fix this shit. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I forgot. You don't care. Nothing I say matters, right? Asshole. I want your product because I invest my time and effort in. I pay for the pay-per-view. I paid for multiple pay-per-views of yours till he gave me the fucking network. Because after a while, I didn't think paying was worth shit. And I still don't think paying is worth shit. I haven't gone onto the network on my fucking computer since he's given it to me for about 6 months, a whole half a year. That's how long it's been since I've been on the fucking network. Because I don't care. I don't care if you have this new show Right Along. I watched the first episode because What Culture was on it. Because What Culture knows what the fuck they're talking about most of the time.
I have to watch that episode.
It's the first episode. They talk about it. And then Adam fucking gives a rebuttal, too. Which, by the way, was more entertaining than the shit that you've booked in the past fucking 6 months. And the past fucking 5 years!
Watch Adam's videos. He books, like, these people have so much experience.
You hire Adam now, and you might have a shot at selling out that fucking crowd. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah.
You hire Tyrone Magnus. You hire Sean's V Entertainment. You hire these YouTubers. This is the only thing that's gonna save your company. I don't care. You can't tell us we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. I'm not recommending myself because I know I'm minor here on this fucking site, and so is he. We're not the most popular show.
No.
But those guys are, and those guys should be getting fucking hired for for your fucking payment.
Even though some of the stuff we say he doesn't hire OTO Central, he at least knows what he's talking about.
Fucking dude. You know, there are people who make Titantron. I haven't seen the last good fucking entrance video. I aspire back in the good old days where they had amazing entrance videos. But there's none of them now. They half-assed Seth Rollins. It's just still shots. Back in the day, 2003, there was like CGI effects and shit with The Rock and Hollywood, all that good shit. Where they were doing like all the flashy lights and shit. He was doing the poses and they would go from one scene to the next in a split second, really showing highlights of his current status of his career. That's what I aspire Titantrons to be, and I haven't seen that in fucking years. I haven't seen that in years, and yet guys like the AJ Universe, Silva Productions, friggin' BGFX have created so many amazing arts of work with your top guys, or what should be your top guys. And your Titantron team or graphics team, whoever they are just people who do mini-trons for Titantrons. How lazy have we gotten here? Because it's visibly shown. It's visibly shown you don't care. You don't even have multiple different stages for pay-per-views anymore. Everything looks the same.
Yeah. Everything.
It looks fucking atrocious. NXT, when they go out, at least looks different.
I mean, they can't do anything fancy because they probably don't have the bigger production, but at least they try to make themselves look different.
They make themselves look different every time they go to a
They
fucking
do a little
house
thing
show.
by the main event of the show. They show the guys backstage, like, to make the match feel important.
Yeah.
You know, they have NXT.
And the funny thing is, you don't have a proper training team either, or you're not having them do shit that they should be willing to want to do to be the best. I know Baron Corbin can do a drop kick, but you choose to not teach him it because you don't have the fucking time or effort to. So if you don't have the time and effort, what makes you think he's gonna have the time and effort to fucking try and learn it himself? You know, respect there is a two-way street. If you hired him, you should be teaching him the shit that he can do. I think he can do a drop kick for a couple rare spots. But mostly, this guy looks like he could fucking box like a champ. The guy has some good strikes, but you only have him do methodical strikes. Where's the fast-paced strikes? That's how I would book him. I'd book him as a guy who could kick your ass. Most of the shit he doesn't do is fancy. He hits a knee. He'll hit some boxing punches. And sometimes, say if Samoa Joe's doing like a suicide dive, all of a sudden Baron Corbin pulls out a drop kick out of his ass. You give him a punch on the apron. What is gonna hurt with a fucking right hand to the really? A right hand on the apron. That doesn't even look like it hurts. You know what you should do? An uppercut with his freaking elbow right in the middle of the jaw, square in the jaw, and then into a neck breaker on the apron, and slams him as hard as he can onto the freaking apron. Because he should be that brutal. He's Baron Corbin. He's a lone wolf. That's his gimmick. He should be brutal. He shouldn't give a fuck who he should have to hurt. Because that's his character. You know? Now, I'm not saying NXT is bad, but they have problems. They have problems, and those are some of them. But that's only like one major one that I have an issue with out of the entire time. I think if you taught Baron Corbin all this shit that I said, I'm sure he'd be willing to try and do it, and I'm sure he'd actually be NXT champion if he was allowed to show that type of ability. But you don't do that. And the funny thing is, it's almost the same like with Raw, because it's almost like Vince is in the NXT office's ears, like, whatever you do, don't mess with Baron Corbin. He should just do this stuff. Fucker, really?
That's Triple H's baby. You leave him alone.
Yeah. I mean,
And then
I can't.
something I gotta talk about too is Raw needs to go back to 2 hours. It's getting ridiculous. For 3 hours every
I
week.
can't stand 3 hours. I can't watch it.
Last week was just too long. Because even if the show is good, it's too long for the only thing that should be 3 hours are pay-per-views. That's it. 3 hours is too long for a wrestling show. Raw makes the pay-per-views diminish.
I agree.
And the thing that, even though he was probably joking, stop doing commercials on pay-per-views when it's on your network.
Yeah.
When it's on their I can understand if they were on like pay-per-view because you probably have to do that. But this is your network. You don't need to do You
have ads on the sidebar. That probably makes you more money in the end because they're visibly shown.
The only thing I actually really go on the network for is to watch those past wrestling pay-per-views for the Retro Wrestling Review series, and NXT.
And that's it.
I
don't even watch Right Along. I don't care about Right Along. We were supposed to review Breaking Ground so many times, and we don't care.
Yeah.
Because they have this series, this reality series, where they're trying to make it to the big time. But in reality, they're making the big time NXT. But in reality, NXT is just a starting ground for the real big time, which is WWE. Ironically enough, once you get to the fucking big time, you're fucking buried!
Yeah. I mean,
it's ridiculous. And it's been the same constant shit for the past 5, maybe even 10 years.
Sometimes they'll even go through at the end of NXT. Like, they went this year, like, they talked about what superstars came in, went to the main roster. When I see these superstars that have gone to the main roster, I'm like, wow. Just wow.
Kevin Owens booked horribly now.
He hasn't get mic time. Really. He wrestles Dolph Ziggler every fucking week. Yeah. And in fact, let me just talk about how he fucking loses. Dolph Ziggler beats him by putting his foot on the fucking ropes. And Dolph Ziggler's supposed to be the face in this equation. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You have a match between Charlotte and Alicia Fox. You showed on SmackDown that was 10 times better, which makes SmackDown a waste of time if you're just going to show the match again on Raw. And
because wins and losses don't seem to matter.
Oh, let's talk about that. So recently, Road Dogg,
just like everything else, doesn't seem like Titantron, value matters, production, nothing. Doesn't seem to matter on the main roster. Just willy-nilly, whoop-de-doo, oh, Vince's net worth, oh, let me suck your dick.
You know, they have this YouTube series called WWE on Crack, which is funny to watch, but I think WWE really is on crack.
Yeah, legit. It wouldn't shock me. You've been on cocaine for years.
You know,
maybe there's some loopholes in the wellness policy that we don't know about. Who knows?
Maybe
they don't care about that either. They don't seem to care about anything else.
They're pretending they lie to us too by pretending they care about Black History Month when.
Yeah,
They don't.
and yet you fucking get rid of Titus O'Neil.
And then you have Hulk Hogan. You
Yay!
have, like I talked about before, you have Vince McMahon.
And you suspend Hogan.
No,
For
fire
being
Hogan.
racist.
Erased Hogan.
A racist Hogan.
No, erased.
But yet
Erased.
you
They
erased
forget
Hogan. But yet you suspend Titus O'Neil for 30 days because Vince got a little shove because Titus O'Neil wanted to hug Daniel Bryan on his way out.
I actually read online too.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I actually read online too that he wanted to be a gentleman and let Stephanie McMahon go first before him, which makes sense. You know, it's what a gentleman would do.
Yeah.
And then, but you have, like I talked about, never a black WWE.
And why does Vince need to be the first to hug Daniel Bryan all of a sudden? You never liked the guy. You never liked the fucking dude.
No.
Just like you never liked Punk, just like you never liked any of the Scrawny guys. What's so different about it now because he's retiring? Is that what it is, Vince? Is that what it is? Because that's your sign of respect? No, that's your sign of finally kissing his ass because he's finally out of your hair. That's sad truth. And you may not want to admit it, and maybe you'll sue me for defamation of character, but quite frankly, good. Because my dad wants me to work for you, and I kind of don't want to work for you anyway.
No one would.
Because of shit like this. It's shit like this that makes me not want to work for you. It's shit like this that makes Batista not even want to work for you.
But he refused to be at WrestleMania. Batista.
Batista, out of all people, where you were this close, by the way, to getting him on the card in some capacity, and you fucked it up by releasing one of his best fucking friends that he's met in the recent years. I mean, what the fuck?
MVP tweeted on Twitter, there was life after E. I don't know if you saw that. MVP, who was another guy that's been depushed.
Who's another guy that, yeah, okay, he did what he did in TNA, but before that, let's talk about that too. You've depushed him so many times. Give him the worst losing streak I think anybody in this company's history.
He lost to a carnival guy. I don't even remember his name. He lost to a
fucking Kazarni, the worst wrestler on the fucking earth. Legit. Like,
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody so on non-hand and eye coordinated
I
in
don't
a
know.
wrestling ring.
Braun fucking Strowman probably would take the fucking cake.
No, that's Braun Strowman make this guy look like what he's doing amateur.
So the
hour.
question
That's
is, I
not
have
that much.
that I keep asking. So you have Braun Strowman. He has to go to NXT.
Oh, we can't forget about him. It's Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman. If anybody says anything bad about him, I guess they get depushed too, right?
Yeah, let's talk about him. So Braun Strowman.
Maybe that's what happened at the Dudleys.
I want to rant about something. Braun fucking Strowman gets to come, has never been in the fucking wrestling business, gets to come right up to the main roster, but you have a guy like fucking,
God damn it.
you have a guy like Sami Zayn.
My spray was still in my jacket, and it all spilled out.
Wow.
And now my jacket's red. Kind of like how I'm feeling right now. Red as an
But yeah,
anger.
you have Braun fucking Strowman. He fucking gets to come right up to the main roster, but you have Samoa Joe go to NXT.
Yeah. Oh.
Years of experience.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You have fucking Sami Zayn go to NXT.
Favoritism. Fucking favoritism. Wonderful, ain't it?
Yeah, Bray Wyatt
Bray Wyatt, who's been
says the fucking same shit every week, loses every match on loses every big match on pay-per-view.
But no Samoa Joe either. I mean,
The fucking,
let's face it, this guy's.
And I got a question for you. Why the fuck do we want to see Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar? That's not fucking believable. You have Brock Lesnar who conquered the Undertaker streak, and Bray Wyatt jobbed out from like fucking.
Now all of a sudden he's like supposed to be a supposable threat. To
And Brock Lesnar, look at Brock Lesnar. He's a fucking beast. Bray Wyatt's just pretty much a fat piece of shit. I mean, you can do that giant
I guess Vince, you shouldn't have had him beat the streak now, shouldn't have you have? But you know why you had him do it? Because you didn't want to turn Cena heel.
Yep.
See, the funny
Knee
thing
flex,
is,
it could have been a knee flex
Cena
reaction.
in real life is actually more funny than he is in the actual show.
Yep. I think Cena's even done with this bullshit. We wanted to.
And Cena, I think, is praising that he's on injury right now.
Like they have nothing. They've
You pissed off
John Cena.
John Cena at one point. You've pissed off Punk. You've pissed off Angle. You've pissed off Hart over the years of being in business.
You pissed
The
off.
only time you even were good after the Golden Ages basically was because you were getting your ass kicked by WCW to the point where you had to let the wrestlers take over. My argument is, why should we have to fucking wait for that?
Good point. Yeah. Like,
New Japan should not, I mean, in reality it should be number 2, but in reality it should also be the talent. The talent should be aspiring to go to WWE. But they're not. Because they know as soon as they go over there, the only success they'll have is in NXT, and then they're fucked. And then let's talk about your tag team division.
I don't think they have many teams.
What, in the main roster, you have what? The New Day,
New
the
Usos,
Dudleys, the Usos,
the Lucha
and the
Dragons.
Lucha
Now the Lucha
Dragons.
Dragons.
Now the Lucha Dragons are back.
Which is happy to see Carlo back.
And then you have the Ascension that's jobbed out.
I
You
forgot.
have...
To be honest with you, James, I actually forgot the Dudleys were even signed to the company for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, like
Wow, like, how bad is that?
I actually forgot. Sometimes that does happen though. Oh yeah, I forgot you worked here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why should we have... They're the Dudleys. People shouldn't be forgetting... Like, people like him shouldn't be forgetting that they're working there again.
Because they job so much, I forgot they worked there for the company. And then you have
In the end,
I don't think they have much of a mid-card division, so.
I don't know. I don't even know why I try. I really don't. I have to read...
I'll just tell you what happened. We'll just
Because
review
the
it.
only thing I really care about was Daniel Bryan.
I'll say the contract signing with wasn't bad.
No. The contract... Here's another fucking issue. You never build up any of your fucking shows anymore. Ever. Never. SmackDown is build up on some occasions. But the problem is when you build up your show only for the matches to happen next week, it doesn't matter. So your shows are shit. You don't know how to build it properly. You don't. And that's just a fact. I think the only thing they actually build up correctly all this fucking time for a long time has been Jericho and AJ Styles. It's the only thing they've had a slow burn to in like the past fucking 5, 6, 7 years. And it's fucking ridiculous.
Because you got this main event for Fastlane.
You
Was
had
it
this main
predictable?
event, it's already made official. Why do we have to have a contract signing? You want to know why we have to have a contract signing? Because we have to endure your half-assed bullshit because you don't know what the fuck to do. Here's all you have to do. Do what NXT does. Make video packages on the guys. Build them up for the fucking pay-per-view.
The only time
That's all that needs to happen. That's all that's ever needed to happen. All that needs
or
to
if
happen.
you want to do a contract signing, something to do.
The
instead of
reason,
doing it
the
in
only
ring.
time there should ever be any type of contract signing are 3 reasons. 1, if it's an unsanctioned match. 2, if it's for an undisputed opportunity, like a undisputed WWE title type of thing. And 3, if you did not make it official yet and you want to have something to really heat up a feud.
And if you really want to do contract signings too, do something different. Don't do them in the ring. Do them at the headquarters. That'd be something cool. You know, then they can't touch at the headquarters. That'd be pretty cool if they did it at the headquarters.
And the only thing, and the funny thing is, your best segments are comedy segments.
The goal is truth stuff.
It's gold. But the funny thing is, why does your best segments have to be that? Where's the seriousness of it all? Because I'm in for good comedy, but here's the thing. I don't want the whole show to be a goddamn 3-hour-long cartoon. It's not what I want when you have guys like Ziggler and Owens and Zayn technically, Neville, Cesaro, who's out on injury. You know, Titus O'Neil, who you suspended.
What's the roster anyways? I think it's like fucking devoured. It's gone.
And I've said it before and I've said it again. Your road schedule sucks. If you cut it in half and you had a better writing team, you would make up the money back for losing, for cutting the road schedule back in half, and you would have a lot less injuries happen. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, freak accidents might happen, but you lessen your chances of injury rate from 25% to 2%. I think that's a hell of a lot better chance to actually go with the larger fucking storyline.
Oh yeah, here's another thing.
But you don't do that, because I guess I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
This is ridiculous. It's been like this for, what, years?
Yeah.
Say since probably 2004 maybe? Done 5.
I'm only one guy. There's only one guy. If we decide to stop watching, it's only 2 people.
I don't think it
But
make a difference.
it may not just be us. And that's what I'm trying to get across. It may be a lot of other people than you might think, Vince.
I just really hope they need to have I just really
Well,
want
why do
Vince
we
on
even
top.
have to review this? Do
Well,
we really have to?
Want to just talk about Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Or
I want to
maybe-
talk about something it's not even positive. That's actually sad. But I'm
Yeah.
going to throw some stuff out before we go with that.
Okay.
Before we do that.
So I'll just
shit.
tell you how I thought of average show.
As fucking usual. What else is old?
It was cool to see the Lucha Dragons back. I did kind of pop for that because it was a surprise return.
Well, yeah, you have Kalisto as your fucking U.S. champion.
And you have him lose
How
to
does that
Del
work?
Rio, which makes sense. You want to have Del Rio win just because they have to build up the match on pay-per-view. But I kind of wish they would just actually have a feud instead of having
So
to have
basically,
matches.
the Lucha Dragons won't ever get a tag title opportunity anytime soon either.
And you got that, like I talked about, the Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler segment, just absolute crap. How many times do you have to wrestle? I think they
And
wrestle.
it's funny too, because I didn't think that feud was gonna be that bad, but you somehow made it unbearable.
It's
to
not even, no, let's be
fucking
talk about.
watch.
Let's be honest. It's not a feud. It's just 2 guys having matches. That's all it is. It's not a feud.
It's one guy pissed off that the guy beat the other guy, and so the other guy's trying to beat the other guy, but then when that guy wins, he wants to beat the other guy even more, and the other guy wants to beat the guy better, and the other guy wants to beat the guy better, and
So overcome.
what's the prize?
Then you got Bray Wyatt.
Here's an idea: WWE title, Intercontinental title, U.S. title. Make sure titles mean something.
I think winners and losses should matter. When you beat somebody, you move up the ranks. It's kind of like football in a way. You work your way up to the playoffs. You win the playoffs. You get the main prize. That's how it should. I mean, that shouldn't be should be exactly like football, because then.
Yeah, I think it'd be a horrible idea, but it should be.
Actually-
That's sports 101 in general. Even if it's fictional, fucking follow the method. It's not hard.
But there is other storylines you can do. Like, you have somebody lose. Like, Sami Zayn had a lot of big losses. He regained all his big wins on NXT, finally won the title.
Exactly.
That worked.
And it was fucking great.
You have someone debut, have him win a bunch of matches. That works. So there
Buy
is
that
way.
video package. Oh God.
So Ryback, so Bray Wyatt beat Ryback, who looks like Goldberg now. Now you're just asking for the Goldberg chance when no one was chanting Goldberg at him. And something that we haven't mentioned yet, get rid of the high knee, just please. We don't need to see that. I like that you're trying to add other moves to your arsenal.
But the only reason why you're doing it is to stab at fucking CM Punk.
And also, I just
Which, okay, you guys have problems with each other's. Who gives a shit? Move the fuck on.
And I just think he's not the type of guy that should be doing these high impact type of moves. He's just not. He should be.
He shouldn't. He's a destroyer, or
Yeah.
that's what his character should be.
And then what
That's
else
what
was
his
on the
character
show?
was, but-
I'll touch up
Yeah.
on it. And I really want to just see the Wyatts at WrestleMania versus Kane, Mark Henry, and Big Show. And you have Kane,
And
Mark
let me
Henry,
guess.
and
And
Big
let me
Show.
guess. This looks like a heel promo, right?
Huh?
Looks like a heel promo.
What?
Ryback's promo.
No, he's not a heel.
He's a face.
He's a face.
So he's a face. And he's coming back with fucking ridiculous
Yeah.
hero trunks. Okay.
But I would like to see the Wyatts.
It's just giving the F5 all around it on the jackhammer.
I just want to see Harper. Well, pretty much they did give him the jackhammer, but haven't because the shell shock's kind of the same thing, except he does it.
Vertical, yeah.
But I would like to see Harper,
It's a
Rowan,
fucking
and
Samoan drop that you march around with a person on your fucking shoulders.
it's impressive when he hits it on some people, but.
No, it's not. Okay, here, I have two jobbers on my shoulders. I march around with them. But I can't do that with Mark Henry and Khali on my shoulders at the same time. Because I'm no fucking Goldberg. I'm not even a Lesnar.
But then,
Fucking Christ.
But I would like to see a 6-man with Harper, Rowan, and Strowman versus Kane, Big Show, and Henry, just to give them all one final retirement segment and have Henry get the pin. But it's probably not going to happen. I think they want to do Strowman versus The Undertaker, which that match is going to be atrocious. And the fact that Undertaker's going to have to go out probably with that fucking match is just going to be horrendous.
It's time for Undertaker to just get in the Hall of Fame and hang up his boots.
I actually think it's a joke that's... I mean, I know Sting's accomplished
It's already too late. It's already too late. There are too many guys injured. Your only best option was Cena. And if you're not going to bring up Finn Balor, he was the second best, so who cares?
Yeah, I don't know who
You
takes
can't do Sting because he's old as shit. He proved that at Elimination Chamber or Night of Champions, whatever the fuck it was.
I think Taker should have gotten into the Hall of Fame first instead of Sting.
Yeah.
Probably because being a Taker fan, but I just think it's kind of a stab at Taker. I understand Sting's accomplished a lot in his career, but I just think Taker should have gone in first. And then, because the fact that Sting's pretty much headlining when it's in Undertaker's hometown is just, I think Taker.
Ridiculous.
That's kind of ridiculous.
It's such a stab at Taker.
That Sting gets to go in first.
I don't make.
I'm not trashing Sting, but
I love Sting. It's just. I don't know what to think of this company. They don't care.
I mean,
I don't care about reviewing the show. Why are we giving this time the time of day?
Anything? Let's just talk about Daniel Bryan. So, everybody knows Daniel Bryan tweeted on Twitter at 1 p.m. They said because the injuries caught
I
up
don't
to
even
him.
want to talk about this either. It's sad to me because it's just like he hit a concussion.
But
at the same
they did
time,
hype
it's
up.
like,
They did hype up his retirement. They played a lot of video packages for him about all his
he better get in the
accolades.
Hall of Fame this year. Seriously.
Oh yeah.
I want him in there.
If not, then next year. But then you have him come out, and he has his hair cut now and beard, and he donated his hair to a charity where they give wigs to children that can't grow hair for
That's a
cancer.
funny thing. Another guy who could have been your next John Cena too.
And he says he has to
That's
retire.
it.
He said he's been cleared by a number of doctors, but they found out that he took a test, and he found that there was something wrong with his brain. So I think he said it on ESPN, and Steve told me about it, but now I don't remember, just because I know. But I think he said that there was something in his brain that was causing this. They found something there, so he pretty much has brain damage.
Yeah, so he can't wrestle. Well, he has it's the starting symptoms of brain damage.
If he wrestles, like you said, he'd probably end up like Chris Benoit.
Yeah, exactly, which is not a good idea.
We don't want his legacy to be deleted.
Yeah, like that
And
was.
And you have Daniel, and he didn't cry.
He didn't cry there, but he cried backstage.
But he was pretty up. I'm actually kind of glad he gave a goodbye. I kind of wish we could have gotten this from CM Punk, but I think CM Punk was just so fed up, he probably just wasn't feeling it, probably. But kind of wish we got.
And it's funny because AJ did the same thing too. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Gave her probably a bunch of shit too. See, that's the thing too. You don't want to even admit that or acknowledge that in public, and that's why AJ left. We all know that's why she left. We all know why. Okay, and the new record going to Nikki Bella was just a stab right to her.
Yeah.
And Punk, give me a fucking break, dude. You guys are so immature.
They're gonna do the same thing with Roman Reigns. I think that.
I'm more mature than you guys, and I'm younger than you guys. I'm 20. It's funny because
he does it. He has his moments when he does his immature stuff.
Of course I do. Which everybody
We all-
does. If you don't have the kid in you, you're a fucking idiot.
I don't think Vince does. Obviously, Vince doesn't after what Titus O'Neil did. Obviously, Vince just can't take a joke anymore. I mean, he just doesn't have a sense of humor anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I don't care if it. I don't.
I heard he
care.
was actually like pissed at Austin too, because he gets pissed at some of the questions he asked when they let him come on his network.
Yeah, of course he does. Because
I
why
hear
wouldn't he
that.
get pissed?
Because he was pissed
Why
at some
wouldn't
of the,
he get fucking pissed?
But
Because
obviously,
he knows Austin tells the fucking truth.
But anyhow, that's
By the way, hey Dave, you posted on Facebook.
yeah. It's Chris Dodd. You've been posting on.
No,
Facebook,
it's
too.
Dave.
No, but he's been posting on there too. Like, he's been.
Yeah.
No one. What happened with? So then Daniel Bryan says he wants to have a kid someday, and he doesn't want to have all these problems if he's gonna have a kid.
Yeah, of course.
And then he does this, and he said, and Brie talks about it all the time. So then everybody chants, "That's what she said," which was great. And then he talks about that moment, which shows how much the company doesn't listen. When they were doing that championship ascension ceremony, when they were going to combine the World Heavyweight and WWE Championship, and there was supposed to be this big match, and it was in his hometown, and they were just chanting for Daniel Bryan. But everybody, ignored it. They didn't, But,
Yeah, of course they did.
And Daniel
So
Bryan.
it got they got too big. And see, the funny thing is, everybody wants to say that it was Daniel Bryan March getting all upset.
I think
Yeah.
sometimes they do get a little too upset.
But here's the thing. Have you ever done it for Punk? Have you ever done it for anyone else? No. You did it for Daniel Bryan. Now, that doesn't take anything away from Daniel, and I love Daniel for it. But here's the thing. This is what we should be doing. It's not us getting butthurt. It's what should be happening. Daniel Bryan's one of the best in the world. So is Ziggler, and so is Kevin Owens. They should be in a fucking meaningless program with nothing on the line. And it's the same with most of the guys in NXT and WWE. They should be the top guys. They should be the guys in these championship pictures. But they're not. If anything, they're far from it.
25. I hate too how they like to say that Dolph Ziggler is like the guy to beat the company. Like when Tyler Breeze beat him, they acted like he beat Shawn Michaels. That's not the case.
That's not the case the way you booked him. Have we really forgotten that you booked him up to that point in another meaningless feud with fucking Rusev? So when you had Breeze come up with which everybody wanted as a dream match, you had Ziggler booked so bad to the point where absolutely nobody cared. No one cared.
I mean, we can just talk for days and days. Let's talk. So for days and days, how they screwed Dolph Ziggler. They started him out by just having him come out by saying, "Hey, I'm Dolph Ziggler," which was something different. And then wins the Intercontinental Championship. Well, actually, first he wrestles Rey Mysterio, never touches the Intercontinental title, which technically it's Rey's fault for getting suspended. So then they had to put the title. They put the title on John Morrison. I don't know why. They just do the match with Ziggler on SmackDown, but that's what it was. And then they couldn't really take the title off Morrison because you just put the belt on him. So they were in a tough spot there. I think he was, but you had him. He should have won the IC belt at SummerSlam '09, but it didn't happen. And then he finally wins the IC title. Has like 3,000 matches with Kofi Kingston that no one cared about because
I actually did like his match with Kofi Kingston. See, that's the funny thing. Those are good matches. I mean, they really were. But the problem is, a lot of people, you would do it so often that no one cared. And you did this with a lot of main event stars too. Did it with Orton and Cena, Triple H and Cena, Triple H and Orton, Triple H and
I understand
Big
you think
Show,
those are. I
Big
understand
Show
you
and
think.
Kofi Kingston, Randy Orton.
I understand those are your you want to take those as your safe flaws because you know the match.
Mysterio, Kane, Taker, Mysterio, Kane. And it was just like, it kept going back and forth in the same cycle. It was just like weird and repetitive. And it's
I
always been
understand
like
those
that.
things-
It's been like that for years. And
I understand it's your safe route, but you gotta get
you
out of
gotta
your
take
safe route.
fucking risks.
But
you
then,
have to. And the fact that you guys aren't is ridiculous.
and then what happened to Ziggler afterwards? So he wins the IC title, then he loses it to Kofi Kingston, to go for the world title that he didn't win, which, you know, they were just.
They booked Christian like shit. Oh my god.
Oh, we don't even need to get into that probably. And then he goes on. He has like a.
What is this? What is your show?
But Daniel Bryan, yeah, his retirement. So then, yeah, he talks about how they were behind him
with
in
Chris Jericho. It
Washington.
turns into the highlight reel.
And then he says how much.
Only other good segment in the fucking show. Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, and Braun Strowman versus Ryback. So Ryback is now Goldberg with tights.
Yep.
Trunks. Did he get Goldberg chest like heavily?
Yes.
Fucking course he did, because you guys are stupid.
It's their fault, but this time, so.
Team Hell No, New Day backstage. Oh
They were
my
good.
god.
Titus O'Neil jobbed Adam Rose pretty much by the whoops. So.
I wonder why now.
Well, yeah, he didn't get, but they.
Maybe they had a plan for this all along.
But then, yeah, we'll just finish off the Daniel. Finish off with Daniel Bryan. So Daniel Bryan says that he appreciates wrestling for all that he's done for him, because it's something that he's loved for 18 years. Because he even talk.
I gotta tell you, Daniel, pray that you got injured as fast as you did, to be honest, after you won the title. Because let me tell you something, brother. You had the peak of your career at WrestleMania 30.
They probably would have buried him.
They would have buried you if you didn't get injured. I hate to say it, dude, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry.
I'm glad.
I mean, let's talk about what
I'm
happened.
glad you accomplished so much, even despite all that. You became a Grand Slam champion in WWE. You won the IC title, US title, the World Heavyweight title, WWE World Heavyweight
He's done
title,
everything. He accomplised everything but win the Rumble.
and WWE Tag Team title. So technically, if you won 5 belts, if you want to count
Let's
that.
talk.
You've done a lot of great shit, and nobody can take that away from you at the end of the day. But they wouldn't have given a shit with you. And
You see, Vin, this is also another thing, Vince. We want to do like an emotional goodbye for Daniel Bryan, but you're just making us pissed because you're shit.
yeah.
You just made this all about you instead of Daniel, who it should have been about Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
But now,
And I'm sorry, Daniel. Honestly, I really am.
We're trying to be-
I will close it off with this. Before I do what I really want to do. You're one of the best and most influential wrestlers that has happened to the WWE in the past decade, other than Cena. You've done so much in such a short amount of time,
Yep.
and you gained so many beloved fans, and me included, him included, and we will appreciate you for that, and we appreciate all that you've given for wrestling, all the concussions you've even hid because you love this sport, and I'm glad they caught it when they did, so you will live a happy, healthy life, and you will be with a kid that's a daughter or son someday with Bree.
and I hope we do see you come again, maybe, because I don't know if he'll be gone, like, for good. Maybe he'll come back and be a trainer, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and we'd love to see you as general manager of Raw, bro.
Yeah.
Lord knows we need something than a heel general manager every fucking week, Maybe we could use you to freshen things up. That'd be awesome, man.
And it's nice.
Only time will tell, I guess.
And it's nice because we actually made this guy, so this is the guy we made a star, because he wasn't gonna be.
And I would have cried, but I would have cried if I had time to watch Raw.
Yeah, it was pretty.
But I can't do it. I can't do it. I couldn't even bring myself because I knew it was gonna be so bad. I watched it on YouTube. I felt the impact there.
Yeah.
So I appreciate.
I'm glad
everything
I'm
you've
glad
done.
it wasn't a ruse either, because I kind of would have been pissed if it was a ruse. I was like, maybe it's a ruse, but if they had rused this, then I think everyone would be more pissed. So I'm glad it wasn't a ruse. But
with that being said, your show.
let's see if I can rate this show. The only reason I'm giving it a 5 out of 10 is just because of Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. So if it wasn't for Daniel Bryan, this would be a 2 out of 10 show. Legitimately.
It's not football season anymore. You don't have that to blame. So
UFC is doing worse than you. That's the funny thing because of this stupid Reebok deal. It's kind of sad because, like, so this just happened.
which is what we were saying all the
WWE
time
Raw
now.
2/8/16. What happens every fucking show. JBL, Michael Cole, and Byron Saxton. Now I don't know what Raw he's gonna review to compare my show, but I'm gonna have this episode up this week, my WYW show, which you can check up here. You can also check out Jay Hebert's side if you actually want to see some good Titantron work that from people on YouTube that you can also subscribe to, not just me. I give all fair use to them. You should also subscribe to them. Subscribe to the people on YouTube that actually know what the fuck they're talking about. As for this, you guys can go fuck yourselves.
I agree.